Welcome to Cold Calling, a job search technique. This is brought to you by Next Steps Employment Centers at www.nextsteps.ca. It's operated by the Toronto School Board, and it is an Employment Ontario funded program. What is cold calling? Cold calling is contacting by telephone or in person without a previous invitation or professional connection with any of the decision makers in the company. For instance, a department manager or say the owner of the company. You call or visit the company to offer your services for a position or even multiple positions within the company. No positions are posted. You are initiating and hoping to gain an interview for internal positions. In preparing for cold calling, you need to research companies, put together a preferred list of your choices, source contact information through directories and social media. So when you are researching companies, it's a good idea to use a database such as Scott's Directories. Scott's Directories are free at all of our Next Steps Employment Centers. For now, because I can't offer you the live link, I suggest you type in the word Scott's Directories and you will see the website to go to. You can refine your search using your postal code. So for instance, if commuting is an issue for you, if you would like a shorter commute, I suggest you take your postal code, use that as one of your refinements for your search, and then you'll see the companies that are available within a reasonable commute of your home. Also, many people prefer to work in the city where they live. It's not always possible, but I would start there. And then the number of employees. So companies offer, a wide variety when it comes to size. In Canada, companies are mainly mid-size and small business. We have very few huge companies because we don't have the kind of population to support it. When you're looking for companies, decide the number of employees that is a comfortable size for you. From that, you're going to put together a list of 30 preferred companies. With these 30 companies, your selections, you're going to create a routine for your cold calling, which will include obviously a script, what it is you're going to say. And because it's 30 companies, I would suggest that you contact 3 companies per day. Also, you need to maintain your employed routine. While you were working, you were getting up at the same time each day. You went through a routine, your breakfast, shower, whatever, the way you dressed, for instance. All of those things should be put back into place. Psychologically, it really helps you and it reaffirms that you are working. Now, you're going to contact 3 companies per day. After each call, I would like you to take notes of the responses that you got. That is going to help you so much. Review what you said, what they said, and then add improvements to your script. So the script is going to need some tweaking because when we first create what we want to say on the phone, we're not really thinking too much about how the person who's listening is going to respond to us. But they are. They are going to do a lot of talking themselves. So I want to be prepared for that. So take notes, review what you said, review what they said, and add those improvements. If you were flawless, good for you. That's amazing. But if you weren't, you're going to want to tweak it. Here's another site that you can go to. This is a Government of Canada website. It's called Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada. So this particular site has a directory of Canadian companies within it. So when you go onto the site, so type in Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, and you will, once you're on the site, you will see on the menu that one of the options is to look at their business directories. And within that directory, they're going to divide everything up into different industries. So that's another option for you when you are gathering your research materials. LinkedIn. So I'm sure many of you have heard of LinkedIn. It is a professional networking site, but a lot of companies are on LinkedIn. They've placed their brand online for, to attract people, to raise their profile, and you will see companies there you'll be attracted to. You'll read their information, you'll see how they've set up their sites, and you'll think to yourself, you know what, this might be a good fit for me. So that's another way for you to gather information on companies you want to select. And you can also read what employees of those companies say on their profiles. So that's added information. Greater Toronto's top employers nationally and also for the GTA is something that gets researched and updated on an annual basis. It's labor market information. It's information very difficult for you to get on your own through other sources. So this is a very useful source for you. When you go onto your computer and you open your browser, type in Greater Toronto's top employers, and it's always going to give you the most recent information. So this is an interesting site in that it provides a rating system. So here you can see the way the rating system is set up, and it's not on each company. Some companies have highlights instead, but the ones that do, they begin with their employer background. So you get this overview. There may be information there that is not available anywhere else, perhaps because they've selected it to highlight themselves with this particular organization. They give information on what it's like to work there, what's their physical workplace like, how has it been rated. If it's an A, I mean, that's just wonderful. That means it's a really nice environment. The atmosphere, the level of communication effectiveness is a B plus, for instance. It's not quite as good, but still okay. Financial benefits and compensation of working in a company. If it's a rating of A, that's really good. If they offer health and family friendly benefits, what's their vacation and personal time off like. Many Canadian companies, the vacation time is not that great. It's 2 weeks. It just seems to be how it is in this country. You will find companies that begin with 3 weeks. There are some, and I think there are more, and also who are more flexible about personal time off. Those are companies to look for. You have to decide what is important to you. Somebody who's been working for a long time and has now been, I don't know, laid off from a company and is looking for the next company, they really don't want to start with 2 weeks. It's not enough for them. So they may be quite challenged on finding companies that offer more, but that's a preference. I think for a lot of people too, a preference is that the company is offering training and skills development. That seems to be one of the most important features of a company these days. And that's because there are so many changes in the work that we do and how we do it. There's more automation. People are offering more services that happen to be knowledge based. So you have to have training for that. You need more skills development to meet the demands of the current labor market. Community involvement. If a company is giving back to the community, I think this is it's a wonderful addition to working in a company. It helps you feel connected to the community. You have a sense of what's needed out there because it's not a level playing field. There are a lot of areas that are suffering. There are people who are suffering. So if you make your contribution through a company as well as personally, that's just great. So this rating system, you will see this with some companies, and it's information that during an interview you really couldn't ask unless they'd already offered you a job. You can visit a company's website to see if a staff directory is provided online. If it isn't, you can call the company and ask for the name of their human resources manager and the department head where you wish to work, because the department head has a lot of say in who gets hired. They don't usually see the resumes first because that does go to human resources, but they have criteria of what they're looking for. Contact the people you know in a company and ask them for the names and job titles of the decision makers and hiring managers. I'd also suggest you offer your resume, that you send them an electronic copy where you have highlighted anything that's new that you think is relevant to the company. So if you recently did some skills training on your own, I would highlight that. Make it easy for the people you are reaching out to help you, to make it fast for them, because if it's going to take a lot of time and energy on their part, they're probably not going to do it. Reach out to managers and other decision makers through LinkedIn. Obviously, this means you have to have a LinkedIn account and your profile should be complete. We don't want something that is under renovation or where your picture is missing or something else is not as professionally done as it should be. But this is another way to gain contact information. Attend job fairs and other events where companies are represented. So people think, oh, job fairs, they're useless. Nobody I want to work for goes there. You know, it's an event. It's an employment event. It's specific to employment. There are lots and lots of people there. Yes, of course, there are a lot of job seekers there, but you never know who you will connect with, who will be invaluable to you. So we do make a lot of contacts when we attend different events, including job fairs, and speak to the staff who are at the event. Not the ones, you can speak to the ones obviously who are in charge of creating the event, but I'm talking specifically, there's a company there, talk to their staff, ask about their hiring needs, and request the name and job title of the hiring staff. Offer your resume and your networking card if you happen to have both. And follow up with the event staff after you've connected with the company hiring manager to say thank you, it was a great event. If you were unable to connect, contact event staff to see if they are willing to forward an electronic copy of your resume to the Human Resources Department. And always, always, always thank people for their assistance. They're a lot more likely to help you when you are appreciative. Another thing you could do is you could join a networking group or a hobbies group through Meetup. So when you type in Meetup, it will take you to the site, but if you specifically want Meetup for a city, you should put in the city as well. So Meetup, you will find groups in your area for a wide variety of interests that includes professional networking. Most of the events are going to be free, but if you decide to join a group where there's a cost involved, obviously, you know, if you're going to a restaurant because you are a gourmet, then you're going to be paying for the food that you're eating because that's not going to come free to you. But if people are gathering at someone's house to play, for instance, bridge, that's a different thing than if you wanted to contribute by bringing something to the event. That's your choice. But Meetup is an effective way to expand your networking group, gain more contacts, and speak to people who are working, because it's not necessarily people who are currently unemployed. It's a wide variety of people. So this should expand your network. You can use the library. This is another option for you because a library also has directories. It has documents that you can view, and it has librarians. So librarians are experts in finding information, and they have great tips on how to get the information you're looking for. Another thing with the library system is they do a calendar of events, and you will be surprised to know they have a lot of job search workshops. They have guest speakers. They have all kinds of different information available to you, and you can gather with other people and participate in workshops. You could do a brief interview with the instructor of a workshop. You could speak later with the guest speaker at an event. So it will broaden your opportunities for contact information. So in conclusion, put together a list of companies that you wish to contact. Make sure you have a consistent routine to follow for you and for contacting your list of companies. Use directories, use social media, and reach out to the people you know. Keep a record of your activities and results. and make any adjustments and improvements based on the responses you get and your own impressions. I want you to trust yourself on this. If you think something was amiss, you need to take another look at it and refine your script. And ultimately, be prepared for success. You are going to be successful. Thank you for attending. For more information about free employment services, go to www.next-steps.ca.